Good day, everyone. We are the Group 2 and we are going to talk about the Smart Campus and blended learning in online discussion. And the first topic is about the Smart Campus that will be presented by Najiro.
Good morning. I am Narjay Roldan and I will going to talk about Smart Campus. Introducing the Smart Campus. At the highest level, a Smart Campus links devices, applications, and people to deliver two key value propositions, enabling new experiences and improving operational efficiency. A Smart Campus starts with ubiquitous, reliable wired and wireless connectivity indoors and outdoor. However, while that kind of connectivity may once have been a goal in itself for many colleges, it's just the beginning of a smart campus. When all of the people, devices, and applications on campus share a common technology infrastructure, they can interact with each other to enable experiences and efficiencies that weren't possible before. So, ang Smart Campus refers to an educational institution or university na gumagamit ng technology at data-driven solutions para ma-enhance ang iba't ibang aspects of campus life. Kasama po dito ang security, sustainability, connectivity, and efficiency. So, example po dito is, kunwari, ilaw na bumubukas at namamatay ng kusa kapag kailangan mag-save ng energy. Security systems that keep us safe, and sobrang bilis na wifi kahit sa ang sulok ng campus. So sa madaling salita po, ang Smart Campus is all about making your school or college more efficient, safe, and connected with the help of smart gadgets and technology. Next po. Next is the Internet of Campus Things. By integrating cutting-edge technology into the way people live, work, and learn on campus, and simply by having a technology platform that facilitates innovation, you raise your profile for prospective student and research programs. All of those sensors and devices share a common technology infrastructure. You can take advantage of new efficiencies fueled by big data and analytics, green technology, and IoT automation as they continue to emerge. So, look at some of areas where smart campus innovations can transform the campus experience for students, faculty, and staff and visitors. First, sa Smart City. Office buildings, multi-dwelling units, streets, parking, green spaces, city vehicles, public transportation, cars and bikes, citizens, workers, visitors, and tourists. So, common use cases, utilities, internet access, heat, cool, water, traffic and parking control, revenue and payments, public safety. Then sa Smart Campus, campus buildings, multi-dwelling units, streets, parking, green spaces, campus vehicles, student, cars and bikes, students, faculty, alumni, and visitors. So sa the Internet of Campus Things naman po refers to the application of the Internet Things technology sa educational institution or campus. So imagine po yung school natin is isang malaking puzzle. Tapos marami siyang pieces na kailangan natin pagdikit-dikitin together ng smoothly. So the Internet of Campus Things is like adding tiny smart sensor and devices to those puzzle para magdikit-dikit siya at mag-run siya smoothly. So these smart sensors and devices can do helpful things. Katulad ng minimake sure niya na namamatay or kusang namamatay yung ilaw kapag wala nang gumagamit or tao sa room. So tumutulong din siya hanapan ka ng empty parking spot at even letting you know when a classroom is available. So the Internet of Campus Things is about using smart gadgets and the internet to make your school run smoother and be more student friendly. So next po. So next is smart campus living. Number 1, connectivity everywhere and anywhere. If the campus Wi-Fi isn't fast and reliable, nothing else matters. Institutions, buildings, smart campuses are using 802.11 AC wave to Wi-Fi technology to make it happen. State-of-the-art technologies in AP antenna design, channel selection, and band steering mitigate the challenges of crowded campus airspace and deliver strong, reliable connections to every user and device. So sa connectivity everywhere and anywhere, meaning po ma-access mo yung internet and you can stay connected to the digital world no matter where you are. So number 2 is hassle-free access. Secure, simple network access starts with certificate-based Wi-Fi in the form of WPA2 Enterprise with EAP TLS. Certificate-based access combines the gold standard in encryption with scalability to support massive numbers of devices and flexible policy-based control. It allows for simple, self-service onboarding with the ability to register devices once, even from home, before students ever show up on campus. So, sa hassle-free access naman po is, sa madaling salita, being able to connect without any difficulty. Next po. Sa number 3 po is personal student networks. In residence halls, students expect to live the way they do at home, using AirPlay to stream video from their iPad over Wi-Fi, playing video games with friends down the hall, connecting to a personal printer without scrolling through dozens of networks and devices. So, personal students network is, 'di ba, sabi po nila, ang campus po is pangalawang tahanan natin. So, on a campus that felt like home, each student would have their own secure virtual network, kung saan po makikita nila yung mga bagay na kanila lang at hindi na nila kailangan mag-scroll sa maraming networks and devices. So, last, 5 hours of cellular coverage indoors. Even when the Wi-Fi is excellent, students still struggle with spotty cellular network access. Newer LEED certified construction is among the biggest culprits, preventing cell signals from penetrating residents' hall walls and keeping students from calling mom, texting with SMS, or receiving emergency notification. So, having 5 hours of cellular coverage is very important. Dahil kapag merong emergency or text ang ating mga kamag-anak or magulang or ikaw, kailangan mong tumawag sa magulang mo, ay manonotified tayo agad at matatawagan rin natin sila agad. So, the next reporter is Mr. Lota.
Okay, the next one na topic po ay Smart Campus Learning. College and universities may take great pride in their long-standing traditions, but the last decade has brought sweeping changes to campus learning. Smart Campus embraces these changes, building on one-to-one and now many-to-one one computing devices per student to implement new teaching and learning models, with students, devices, and applications all connecting over the same ubiquitous technology infrastructure. A smart campus can redefine lecture halls, collaborative workspace, and even learning itself. So ang smart campus learning po, lalo na po sa ating mga future educators po, na napakalaking impact po sa atin ng technology na nagagamit po natin siya in teaching, ganun din po sa learning ng mga bata. So, yun po yung pag-uusapan po natin na matatawag po ang isang teacher and at the same time po yung student pagka ginagamit po yung technology sa learning and teaching, tinatawag po siya na smart learning. So, next po. And number 1 is yung flexible learning spaces. On Smart Campus, mobile technologies and applications free educators to rethink how they deliver learning. So sa isang smart campus po no yung as a teacher, as a future educator, yung flexible learning spaces po, as I said kanina, pag once na gumagamit po tayo ng mga technologies like phone, laptop, and iba pang applications po na marami na po ngayon katulad po ng Canvas and PowerPoints, marami na po para ma-improve yung mga teaching ano po natin content. So, kaya laki po ng tulong po ng mga technologies nowadays. Lalo na po sa pagtuturo, ganun din sa learning ng mga bata. And pangalawa, collaborative learning. Use video conferencing and digital collaboration tools to create co-work sessions and bring in experts from across campus or around the world. So, tulad po ngayon no sa ano natin po sa generation po natin ngayon, ang dami na pong pwedeng magamit na mga applications no, tulad po nung tayo nung from pandemic, mas lalo nating na-appreciate yung iba't ibang application and nagamit siya from teaching and learning. Halimbawa po dyan sa video conferencing, nagamit po tayo ng Zoom, Gmeet, na kung saan kahit nasa bahay po tayo, na nagkakaroon pa rin po tayo ng connection sa mga estudyante, natuturuan po natin sila kahit na hindi po tayo nakaka-meet face to face. So ganun din yung Google Classroom kung saan pwede tayong magpagawa ng activity sa kanila kahit hindi po tayo, hindi natin sila naninit ng face to face. And pangatlo is yung distance learning. On Smart Campus, students, faculty, and administrators no longer need to worry about space constraints, location, or weather. Use video and collaboration tools to open up classes and lectures to students anywhere without having to squeeze them into single lecture hall. As I said po no kanina, sa pangalawa nabanggit ko na po ito sa yung distance learning na ano po, andito yung once na gumagamit tayo ng mga online applications na kung saan i-improve po yung teaching content natin, ganun din yung layo. Kasi instead na kailangan natin magturo sa kanila ng physically sa pamamagitan ng mga Google Meet, Zoom, or ng mga ng Google Classroom, no, nagkakaroon po tayo sa kanila. Natuturuan pa rin po natin yung mga estudyante po natin. And ganun din, na mas less pa siya hassle and nakaka-save pa din po siya sa atin ng money. So, pang-apat po, lecture capture. In the same way, the smart campus technologies free students and faculty from the constraints of physical space. They also afford more flexibility and freedom in time by recording and archiving all lectures when an ill student misses class or just wants to review before a test. Every second of every lecture can be streamed with a click of a mouse. So, ayun po, no? As I say, sabi ko na rin po no kanina, and even mga teachers and students, kahit na hindi po sa same na time, halimbawa po may klase, nagiging flexible po tayo. Kasi pwede, alam mo, meron po nangyaring emergency, kaya mo pa ding makapagturo. As teacher, kaya mo pa rin makapagturo sa mga estudyante mo. Kahit hindi sa same time ng schedule ng class. So, paano po mangyayari yung through recording? So, marami na pong ways ng recording pwedeng gawin sa Zoom or any applications kung saan pwede po itong i-replay ng mga estudyante na at the same time natututo pa din po sila. And ganoon din po sa mga students, pwede through pagpapasa po ng activity through recording or reporting. And pag nag-report po sila, pwede rin through recording. So tuloy-tuloy pa din po yung learning process po dahil po sa technology na ginagamit po natin. And last po, building the smart campus of the future, attraction and retention. So pag ito po sa last po natin, no, sa aking topic po, no, na napakahalaga po ng technology po sa buhay ng isang tao. Lalo na kung ipapasok po natin to sa teaching and learning ng isang bata. Meron po tayong mga negative ways and positive ways po, no. Pero mas makikita po natin dito na mas the more po tayong nag-caught up po sa mga technologies ngayon, and mas the more po natin siyang kailangang gamitin para matawag po ang isang campus na smart campus the future, na kailangan nating makipagsabayan lalo na po ngayon marami na pong mga lumalabas ng mga iba't ibang technologies sa ibang campus, no, not to be competent with them, pero kailangan din nating kahit papaano makasabay sa pagbabago po ng mga technology. Kasi through that, no, para hindi po tayo mapag-iwanan, kaya we need to build a smart campus. Hindi man agad na perfect na napupunta po tayo sa nangunguna, nangunguna sa mga iba't ibang campus, pero mahalaga po ay nakakasabay po tayo. So, ayun po. Next reporter po.
Good day to everyone. I am Dana Ashley D. Arcilia, and let's proceed po sa blended learning. So, what is blended learning? The simplest definition of the term blended learning is the use of traditional classroom teaching methods together with the use of online learning for the same students studying the same content in the same course. According to Garrison and Bohan, in 2008, it is a thoughtful fusion of face-to-face and online learning experiences. There are also blended programs in which students study some courses in face-to-face classroom and other courses are delivered in fully online. So, in today's generation po is karamihan po sa atin ay may access na sa computer, tablets, and also the smartphone. Ang mga ito po ay pinapagana ng teknolohiya, ay naging mas magkakaiba at na-access po ito ng ating mga estudyante upang makapag-join or makapag-online class po sila. Parami din ang mga university, professor na isinasama ang mga pag-aaral na naka-base sa web, sa kanilang strategy, sa kanilang mga diskarte sa paghahatid, at ang mga mag-aaral ay meron itong access sa iba't ibang programa upang makatulong para sa kanilang pag-aaral. Ang parirala pong anumang oras o kahit saan, pag gagamitin po natin ito is kailangan natin ng internet connection, wifi, data, upang tayo ay maka-access sa mga ito tulad natin na nag-join tayo sa Google Meet, Google Classroom, at ngayon ay gumagamit tayo ng Zoom na ginagamit natin upang tayo ay makapag-online class at makapag-attend tayo sa ating mga meetings and so on and so forth. Next po. In a classroom, instruction time may be replaced or augmented by online learning experiences, and online learning can include varying degrees of interaction or just time alone in independent study and learning activities. However, in a quality blended learning experience, The content and activities of both in-person and online learning are integrated with one another and work towards the same learning outcomes with the same content. The various learning experiences are synthesized, complement each other, and are planned or orchestrated to run in parallel. In when it comes to po, when it comes to new studies offer opposing um, perspectives perspectives on whether the online education will makakatulong po sa mga estudyante to para ma-improve ang kanilang mga skills, mga learning, achievements, and also the knowledge. Nonetheless, the opinions of the online learning have shifted in its favor in recent years, as more learners and educators regards it as a valuable alternative and to various forms of face-to-face classes, um, blended learning or online class, which draw us the best practices in both online and face-to-face approaches, is becoming more popular as at colleges and universities as the number of digital learning platforms and ways also to use them the educational purposes to grow. The potential also for this learning or the benefits that blended learning provides are now widely understood, and both educators and students appreciate its flexibility and easily to use. Next po. Hybrid and mixed mode learning. Blended learning is some called hybrid or mixed mode learning. This system of instructional design use many types of teaching and learning experiences and vary in design and implementation across the teachers, programists, and schools. The potential variations of mixed mode learning are virtually endless. A good way to get is the sense of the range of possibilities is to consider some examples. First is in one school, a few teachers create mixed mode delivery in their individual classroom. In other, a whole program choose to make a blended learning. It's a choice of delivery for all students. All teachers work together to learn how to teach in a blended delivery system. Next is the video recorded lectures. Live video and other digitally enabled learning opportunities can be students' primary instructional interaction with other students and the teachers. In some cases, students may independently on online lessons, project and assignments, and also the activities at home or elsewhere only predict, pre, periodically meeting with teachers to review their learning progress, teachers their work, and ask questions or receive assistance, feedbacks with difficult concepts. In other cases, students may spend their entire day in a traditional schools, but they will spend more time working online and independently than they do receiving instruction from a teacher. Next reporter will be Miss Irish Beran.
So in blended learning, we have three different main models, and that is what is presented in the slide. And the first model is may makita po tayong face-to-face session with an online activity. So yung first model naman po is ang tinutukoy dito is yung makaginagawa or yung kahit na face-to-face, yung modality ng pag-aaral o kahit na nandito na tayo sa face-to-face is gumagamit pa rin tayo ng mga online activities. So, kung matatandaan natin during our senior high school or in our high school days, may mga professor or may mga teacher na gumagamit sila ng mga um, online videos like YouTube video or mga different kinds of vlogs or sound recording na nakakatulong para mas maintindihan ng mga estudyante yung lesson. So, kapag sinabi ng kahit noon pa man, kahit wala pang pandemic o hindi pa tayo nakakaranas ng pandemic, nararanasan na natin yung tinatawag na blended learning. Ito nga yung kahit na nasa school tayo, kahit nasa loob tayo ng classroom na merong teacher, physical, the teacher is nandun pa rin yung online. So yung pangalawa naman natin models is yung face-to-face session together with the online tutorial and face-to-face presentation. So madalas ito yung ginagamit during pandemic na kung saan may mga times na kailangan talaga pumunta sa mga schools or mga campuses para magagawa sila ng mga activities. So during the last month of the pandemic, ito na yung nagkaroon na tayo ng mga may mga pagkakataon na pwede na tayo pumunta sa school para gumawa ng mga activities or hindi na gano'n siya kahigpit katulad ng dati. So yung dito sa pangalawang model, blended talaga siya to the point na meron tayong meron tayong face-to-face learning and meron tayong online learning. So sa face-to-face session, dito pinapakilala or dinidiscuss yung mga topic na maaaring matutunan ng mga estudyante. And during the online tutorial naman, dito na nagsisend yung mga professor ng iba't ibang references, iba't ibang videos, article, or any vlogs na makakatulong para maintindihan yung topic. And during the face-to-face presentation, dito nakakaroon ng pagbibigay ng mga natutunan nila during the online tutorial. So, masasabi rin na yung blended learning, ito yung pinaka-applicable, especially kapag dun sa mga may mga seminars or kunyari sa mga seminars ng mga teacher na kung saan may mga pagkakataon na pwede silang umattend ng dalawang seminars in the same day na kung yung unang seminar is about or during face-to-face interaction na kung saan nandun sila sa loob ng conference and yung the other half day naman is pwede silang magkaroon uli ng panibagong seminar kahit na nasa malayo. So yung pangatlo naman na models natin, ito yung gamit natin during pandemic. So maalala natin meron tayong synchronous and asynchronous time sa isang topic natin. So sa synchronous activity naman, dito tayo nagkakaroon ng interaction with the teacher na kung saan nagkakaroon tayo ng Google Meet, ng Teams, or nandun tayo sa loob mismo ng Zoom na kung saan nagtuturo yung teacher, nag-discussion yung teacher, o kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng recitation. Dito makita natin yung interaction ng student sa kanilang mga teacher kahit through online lang. At kapag sinabi naman natin asynchronous activities, ito yung mga activities na binibigay ng teachers after ng synchronous activities nila. Or ito yung time na kung saan hindi i-meet ng teacher yung mga estudyante pero magkakaroon ng mga activities. So, yung mga gantong or yung synchronous and asynchronous kung pagpapasihan sa year level natin ngayon, ito yung mga ginagawa natin during our first year and our second year na where we have different kinds of activities that being assigned by the professor and we need to pass it in a certain time or in the period of time na syempre, inano ng teacher. So, for a short recap lang, kapag sabi natin na yung unang model natin, siya yung nasa face-to-face tayo, pero gumagamit tayo ng mga online activities or online references para matuto. The second model naman is nandito yung pinaghahalo natin yung face-to-face at yung online tutorial na kung saan pwedeng hatiin yung oras ng isang tao para makapag-attend ng face-to-face seminar at ng online tutorial or ng online seminar. At yung lastly naman, ito yung fully online lang na kung saan synchronous doon nakikita yung ng mga bata, yung mga teachers. And sa asynchronous naman, dito sila gumagawa ng mga activities. So, ito na yung katulad niya na nabanggit ka kanina. So, nagkaroon lang tayo ng onting pagkakaiba in terms of bullets. So, yung model 1, ang tawag natin dito is the blended presentation and interaction. So, activity, focus face-to-face session blended with online resources. So, katulad yan ang ginawa natin na kahit nasa loob tayo ng classroom, nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng iba't ibang gumagamit tayo ID ng mga iba't ibang resources para mag-intindihan palalo yung mga discussion. Or ito yung gumagamit yung teachers ng different kinds of online apps o kunyari ng Kahoot para magkaroon ng activities or yung mga pag-games sa mga estudyante. So yung pangalawang model naman is tinatawag na blended block. Ito yung combination of intensive face-to-face session at one day or half day and weekly online tutorial or seminars for activities and interaction and online content and recording. So kapag sinabi naman natin na fully online or yung the third model is a combination of short lecture podcast with online resources and learning activities and online tutorials, also known as synchronous, and interaction via online collaboration, discussion forum, and or group work. So kung makita natin sa three modules natin, itan dun yung reflection or yung understanding natin na kahit hindi pa tayo nandito or hindi pa tumatama yung sa atin yung pandemic, is meron na tayong blended learning. Pero hindi lang natin siya agad napansin. Kasi ang thinking natin kapag sinabing blended learning ay ayun lang yung nangyari during pandemic. So, in correction lang po sa lahat is that kahit wala pa tayong pandemic, gumagamit na yung mga professor, especially yung mga high school professor, high school teachers ng blended learning as instruction for the students.
So for the benefits, of online learning. First is opportunity for collaboration at a distance. Individual students work together virtually in an intellectual endeavor as a learning practice. Second, it increased flexibility. Technology-enabled learning allows for students for learning anytime and anywhere, letting students learn without the barriers of time and location, but with the possible support of in-person engagement. Third is the increased interaction. Blended learning offers a platform to facilitate greater interactivity between students as well as between students and teachers. Enhanced learning. Additional types of learning activities can improve engagement and can help students to achieve higher and more meaningful levels of learning. And for the last is learning to be virtual citizens. Learners practice the ability to project themselves socially and academically in an online community of inquiry. Digital learning skills are becoming essential to be lifelong learner, and blended courses help learners master the skills for using a variety of technologies. So for addition po when it comes to benefits in online learning. First po is the learners get a personal experience. Blended learning offers learners a professionalized experience. From the work itself po, ito po yung natututo tayo sa bahay, sa sarili nating oras, hanggang sa maunawaan po natin yung mga topics o yung dinidiscuss ng ating mga guro. Sa pamamagitan po nito at paggamit ng mga pagsusulit through online, gumagamit po tayo ng mga MS Word, Canva, Excel, at nanonood tayo sa YouTube upang mas lalo natin maunawaan ang mga kung meron nga ba tayong kung meron tayong ano ba tawag dito? What do you call this? Kung meron tayong nalilito tayo kung ano nga ba yung pinapahiwatig sa atin ng ating guro, meron tayong YouTube na pwede natin ma-access para makanood tayo upang step by step nating matutunan kung ano nga ba ang kahulugan ng tinuturo ng ating guro. Tapos po ang nakakatulong din sa ating mga mag-aaral ay gumagawa tayo ng worksheet at activities, at ito po ay ating pinapasa through Google Classroom or ERTU. At isa pa po dito is yung gaya natin, gumagamit po tayo ngayon ng Google Meet or via Zoom upang doon po tayo makapag-online class through screen or monitors ng ating mga laptops, mga gadgets. Doon po natin nakikita doon lang po nung pandemic, doon lang po natin nakikita ang ating mga ka-classmates, ating mga guro, doon lang po natin sila napapakinggan. Malaki po ang mga ginagampanan ng mga ito, malaking itulong ito para sa atin, lalo na noong pandemic na bawal tayo lumabas, bawal mag face-to-face classes, or limitado lang yung face-to-face classes natin sa ating universidad. Ang mga binanggit ko po na ito ay malaking tulong para sa atin at malaki ang ginagampanan upang makapag-communicate tayo sa ating mga guro. And for the last is, it's easier for students to see how learners are doing. Hindi lang po ito para sa mga mahuhusay na mag-aaral, ngunit napapakinabangan po ito ng ating mga guro. Ang mga digital na tools sa ating pagtuturo ay nagbibigay sa mga guro na higit sa mga like insights sa kung paano gumagana ang mga kanilang mga itinuro para sa mga estudyante, at nag-aalok sila ng mga option in real time na pagsusubaybay upang makita kung ang mga mag-aaral ba ay meron nga bang natutunan, meron nga bang nalaman, o nadagdagan ba ang kanilang kaalaman, nadagdagan or nakatulong ba ang mga guro sa mga kanilang ginawa at itinuturo ito sa atin. Nakakatulong din ito para sa mga guro na makita kung effective ba o natuto ba ang mga students niya base sa kanyang tinuro at base sa kanyang mga strategies na ginawa. Kaya lahat tayo ay nakikinabang at natututo dito. Hindi lang para sa mga estudyante ito, ngunit para din to sa mga guro na para sa mga guro, kaya malaking kahalagahan po ito para sa atin. Next na po. Next reporter po is si Ms. Rowa Antoinette.
So, good day everyone. So, I'm going to talk about the making blended learning work. So, yung mga past na reporter, sinabi nila yung kahalagahan at saka kung paano natin magagamit ang Smart Campus at saka yung learning style na ginagamit natin ngayon. So, ang i-discuss ko naman ngayon, kung paano magiging effective ang isang learning style na ginagamitan natin ng technology. So, first, let's talk about technology integration. In itself, it's not necessarily blended learning. It's online learning is only a minor component of a classroom-based course without offering students the independence, convenience, and interaction opportunities of being online. It may not really be blended learning system, but simply a case of technology integration, creating an effective blended learning environment means making appropriate choose, and overcoming the challenges that comes with the use of technology. So, the word itself, technology integrating. So, um, natututo tayo sa natututo tayo sa mga lesson na binibigay sa atin sa paggamit ng technology. At the same time, yung old version ng pagtuturo like chalk and talk. So ngayon naman ang ginagamit na natin sa form of education is technology. So first, technology access, a critical first step is to know which resources are available to your students. It's their limited bandwidth, unreliable internet connectivity, or lack of devices such as laptops or smartphones. Once you are clear about the access, you can choose learning activities with the technology in way that allow all to participate. So sa technology access, inaalam muna natin kung ay parang nung in-interview tayo sa RTU, example para maging realistic lang. 'Di ba nung in-interview tayo sa RTU bago tayo makapasok, tinatanong agad si Sir Christian yung nagtanong nun kung ano yung mga available na devices na meron tayo. Especially na we are taking CSS, so kailangan talaga natin ng mga devices tsaka yun yung mga sinabi ng mga other reporters na kailangan natin makasunod, hindi lang para maging una tayo kasi pangit naman kung nahuhuli tayo. So, inaalam natin kung may laptop ba or smartphones at tsaka natin maipaplat yung gagamitin nating site or apps na pwede nating mapag-anuhan ng mga lesson na ginagamit natin. So, yung ginagamit nating apps na pwede sa cellphone and laptops, Google Classroom, Zoom, and also sa Canva din. And we are using then the Google Docs na available siya free and ma-access nating lahat, even the teacher and the student. So, next is the design. Design, creating the appropriate in a person and online activities means designing courses with the pedagogy principles of both integrating technology in a way that supports meaningful learning. So, sa design, katulad nung meron tayong mga estudyante na mga visual learning. So, ibig sabihin ng visual learning, matututo sila by the means of nakikita ng eyes nila. Mas nai-engage yung learning nila sa mga nakikita. So, sa design, pumapasok dito yung Canva. So, nabibigyan natin ng colorfulness yung ating lesson, katulad ng Canva. Ito yung presentation namin. So, nagiging attractive siya sa mata. So, nagkakaroon ng focus yung makikinig sa atin kasi sa mga design na nakikita nila. Tsaka natututo din at the same time. So, safety and security. So, create awareness of and insecure security, invention against unethical learning practices, academic dishonesty, identity, and thief bullying are in place. So, kahit na sa bahay lang tayo um, natututo, so kapag nag-online class tayo, so, di ba binigyan tayo ng institutional email. So, yung institutional email, isa rin siyang safety purposes para kapag nag-online classes tayo, ang ma ang ma-accept lang ng mga prof natin is mga classmate lang natin. Kasi kapag walang safety yung online class natin, pwedeng pumasok kung kahit sino. So may nababalitaan tayo na may binilita sa TV noon na tawag diyan, yung mga bata, may pumasok doon na hindi nila classmate. So, binidyohan sila, tapos pinost sa Facebook yung mga pinag-usapan nila doon, maging lesson, pati yung mga identity ng mga students. So, ayun yung iniiwasan natin. So, kailangan nating maging aware sa lahat ng possible na mangyayari when it comes to this technology. Kasi even though na maganda ang technology, so meron din naman siyang disadvantages katulad nung sa security lalo na kung hindi siya safe. So we have number 4, we have the skills development, support, and training. Both students and instructor must have technological literacy and competency with technology application. So yung mga teacher natin, tsaka student, so syempre bago naman ituro ng mga prof, teacher, instructor, yung technology, syempre nag-aaral din sila para tama yung mga i-discuss nila sa kanilang student. Especially na sa mga estudyante na minsan mas magaling pa sa mga teacher kasi syempre mas gusto nilang mapasok yung technology kasi syempre nga nakaka-engage siya ng learning ng student. So, kailangan din sabayan ng mga instructor yung ganong level ng mga estudyante para ma-guide sa tamang direksyon yung mga student para hindi nila ma-take advantages yung mga um yung mga pangit sa paggamit ng technology katulad ng pag-search ng mga hindi appropriate na site na hindi nila kailangan malaman. So dapat alam din ng mga teacher yon and student. Ayun yung mga sinasabi sa skills development, support, and training. So di mo maituturo yung isang lesson or hindi mo maituturo yung specific topic kung hindi mo naman siya alam. So may dumadaan sila sa mga seminars and nag-aaral din sila. So, motivation. Students need motivation with engaging in a wide range of often shifting learning modalities, some of which may require significant skills and development. So, motivation. Nag-start sa face-to-face, biglang nag-online, and then ngayon blended. So, hindi naman natin pwedeng pag sinabing online, kailangan online agad. So, syempre, dinahan-dahan din tayo step by step. Katulad ngayon, di ba, blended tayo. So, pinagpatuloy na yung blended. Sinabi nga ni Miss Irish kanina na hindi lang naman ngayon ginamit ang blended learning